Hello, everyone. It's Cinnamon on the mic. I'm here to expose Toontown. Grab your snacks, your popcorn, and let's dig in. I've spent years in the Toontown community, not as a leader, not as a villain, just a guy who played the game, made some friends, and apparently lived in their heads long after I left. You know how you can tell someone's obsessed with you? They make secret chats about you, they repost lies about you at 2 a.m. They pretend to break up with their partner just to pull you into a group chat, and they call you the problem. This video isn't an expose. It's not a cry for justice. It's a highlight reel. Because after years of watching them spiral, I've realized something. They're not masterminds. They're not villains. They're just clowns. And clowns only scary if you forget they're wearing makeup. So let's take a look at this together. Welcome to Living Rent Free in Toontown with Cinnamon Toast. Again, this video is not an expose. It's not a cry for justice. It's a slideshow. So, a slideshow of people who spent years trying to break me and ended up looking ridiculous. So let's start. So, I'm going to talk about three particular people in the Toontown community. They all have a persona. You know when you get online and everyone has like an alter ego thing going on? This is them. Let's start with the edge lord, alter ego. A edge lord is an internet slang term for someone who deliberately posts shocking, offensive, or dark content, typically on social media or forums to appear cool, edgy, or to provoke others. They thrive on controversy, often employing taboo or badass personas to grab attention. A comic entertainer, especially one in a circus, wearing a traditional costume and exaggerated makeup. That's one persona. Let's talk about alter ego number two, the circus clown. The circus clown is pretty simple. It's just an unsophisticated country person, um, or someone who behaves in a comical way or act playfully. And there's one other alter ego left, called the keyboard terrorist, who is an individual who uses the internet to spread fear, promote extremist ideologies, or facilitate violence, often operating from behind a computer screen. They engage in rash, radical, I'm sorry, I'm reading this from Google. They engage in radicalization, cyberbullying, or online harassment to intimidate populations and influence governments, sometimes acting alone, but linked to broader networks. All right. So, what I'm getting ready to show you right now is a little snippet of what you're getting ready to have a taste for. Give me one moment. All right, y'all ready? So, let's take a look at the screenshot before we get into nitty gritty. If you take a look here, these people, John, Toon, Dominus, are infamous in the Toontown community. John owns a server called Blackville, which is run by nothing but internet trolls. The server has like over 1,000 members, but the only people who are really talking there are like the moderators and stuff like that. Toon and Dominus are from Team Trap. If you don't know who Team Trap is, Team Trap was owned by King Roscoe, aka Brent Vasley Jones. King Roscoe was also infamous in the Toontown community. Um, he was pretty much, I guess, a criminal. But I'm going to talk about him a little later in the video. But what I'm going to show you are some cryptic messages of the alter ego. And Toon, like who I like to consider the clown, is telling me, and I'm Cinnamon by the way, fuck your fat, balding, wig wearing, ugly ogre of a fucking mom, you malnourished cocksucking faggot. What makes this screenshot so legendary to me is the fact that they are, and because this happened in a group chat, this group chat, they spent literally hours trash talking me. And we're going to talk about exactly why in a minute. But first, I want to start with John's girlfriend, Winnie. Because if you haven't watched my last video, I think my last video was about Sonic, Red Sonic, who was also infamous in the Toontown community for being extremely toxic, extremely autistic, and using the N word, right? So I'm going to go back to the video because I want to show you guys something before I get into the screenshots. Here we go, but boy Sonic right here. Okay. So Sonic pretty much made a hate video about me. Um, so me and Sonic used to be Toontown friends. His friend group turned on me because I used to get on them about using the N word, and then plus they're a really extremely toxic group anyway. But I'm gonna show you some little clips of the video. And you a motherfucking faggot, bro. Snitching off. So the black guy right here is me, and they're pretty much making fun of me, like complaining about them. Random tunes coughing, yeah, I warned you, go figure. Sarah's just a gold digger, she's a dyke, but you know I'm her favorite nigger. Back to Okay, so you heard him just say the N-word, right? Now here's John, the Wackville. He's like, the music, LOL, legendary, man. And Sonic's like, yes, Ruff wanted me to put your music in my video, and it finally fit with the KFC and Popeye scene. So here's the thing, Ruff doesn't even like Sonic, or Sonic doesn't even like Ruff. They're both enemies because the people in the Wackville don't even like when people use the N word. So I was shocked that John even commented on the video. And so I'm going to. So I asked John's girlfriend. I was like, "Do you support your boyfriend saying the N word?" She's like, "When has he said the N word?" Proof. I'm going to take accusations of him saying that word very seriously. So please show me where he said it. I said he supports the video that Sonic posted using the N word. Watch Sonic's new video, the beginning where they use the N word, and at the 2 minute mark, John comments. So Sonic also uses the N word in the beginning of the video as well. When he said, "This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever read." I said, "Just watch and read the comment." She said he commented on the fact that they used a song made by an old Wackville member. "Oh my God, you're reaching so hard, dude." And I'm like, he didn't say it, but he did like the music, and the music the guy is saying the N word. It's not even the fact that he said nigga, he said the hard R. And when he's like, "This is the craziest reach I've ever heard," I said, "I just think it's weird how anybody could even comment on a song when the N word is used twice in the video and the song. How is that reaching? And plus, the song is literally about a black guy, which is me, and they're making fun of me, complaining about the N word, which is so ironic." But anyway, when he said, "So can white people not listen to black rappers who use that word in their songs? Is that how that work? Is that how this works?" I said, "I don't think you quite understand. This is Sonic's video. The song, the man said the hard R." When he said, "Dude, Red Sonic didn't make the song." For me, that's not even the issue. The issue, hold on, the issue is the fact that John knows that Sonic is racist. John knows that Sonic is autistic. He knows he's toxic. And John also doesn't like me either. So I'm thinking, okay, they probably just share a common bond not liking me, which is kind of stupid because they don't have a reason not to like me because they are the instigators. But I said, Sonic is notorious for saying the N-word. Doesn't matter. The guy still said the hard R in the song. Winnie said he is black. We know the guy, or knew. I said, so him saying the N-word is okay? Just because he's black, right? And so we are going to give it a pass. It's the internet, it's the intent behind the video. And John literally commented on a racist person's video. When he said, go ahead and make a video and call out John for being racist then or whatever, because your proof of him being racist is saying he likes a song that includes the N-word in it. Sung by an individual who can use that word. John never used that word, but keep reaching. I said I never said he was racist. And yes, he is he is in the video. So it's not about John liking the song. It's the fact that he's commenting literally on a video that is meant to make fun of someone who is constantly advocating against that word. That is the problem. And it's not even a good look anyway that John is like already doesn't like me for the wrong reasons. But I'm going to get into that later because John is just a troll anyway. Winnie said, keep sending people our DMs, by the way. I said, I never sent anyone our DMs. She said, okay. I said, unless you want to prove me wrong. She said, how come you came in my DMs and said, do you support John saying the N-word? Then I asked where. I said, because I do not recall doing that. She said, recall a little harder. I don't know what she's talking about at this point, but I said, yeah, that was a mistake. He didn't say it because I did say in the beginning that he said the N word and that was a mistake. I said I meant to say something else, but I was typing so fast I said it wrong. I was just hurry. I was just in a rush. So yeah, I will admit that I was wrong for that. I I'm like, girl, I got 100 things on my mind, and if you are bringing that up now, why not tell me that before? Why do you always bring up stuff later when we have a disagreement? Is this is the same girl that told me after her boyfriend harassed me and Dom and Toon that Dom and Toon were not my friends. I'm like, okay, if you're so cool with me and we're supposed to be friends, why are you telling me this afterwards? Because the reality is she's just as toxic as they are. Because she's literally in a server with people who are trolls. This is John's girlfriend, by the way. I don't think a rational female would even date John. But this is Winnie we're talking about. So she said, you just sent our DMs right now. She's so stupid. What is she talking about? I'm literally talking to her. Like, who would I even send the DMs to? I said, and what would be my reason? I said, no, I didn't. She said, okay. I said, what makes you think that? She said, me receiving a screenshot of our DMs. What the fuck is she talking about? I said right now, she's like, I don't have time for this. I'm going shopping. Goodbye. Don't make crazy accusations like that ever again, but I appreciate you apologizing to me for mixing up your words. I said also, why would you bring up the fact that Toon and Dom were not my friends when you were chilling in the same server with them? You could have been told me. Because it was my server. I said, yeah, that was a mistake. I don't know, it's just weird how y'all get on people for saying nigga like Jackie, but it's okay for John to comment on Sonic's video when the dude's intent was to piss me off using the song as his leverage. Nothing makes sense anymore. Sonic's not black. I feel like I made perfect sense with that comment, but I said just because a black person used the word doesn't mean it's okay for John to like it either, because John is not black. I don't know if you can't see John's red flags by now, then you are in denial. She said, he did not use that song to get at you. Oh my God. I said, the video was about me. It was a mockery. And the song used the N word in the beginning of the video. Did you even watch it? She said, I didn't realize that you were in the video. I went for the song. I said, yes, the video was about me. That's why I thought it was weird John commented on it, given he doesn't like me. Also, okay, that doesn't matter. She said, that song, let me tell you that. Okay, wait, I think she said it here. No, no, she said, "Yeah, that song was written by someone in Thwackville who was black, and the names mentioned are people who were in Thwackville. You know, yada yada yada." John is comment on the fact the song made by a member randomly in Thwackville and included Thwackville references was used in a random video. The video wasn't random; it was intentional. But anyway, I doubt he gives a shit about the actual content. He only commented on the song. That's kind of weird. Like, I feel like if you're gonna watch a YouTube video, you really need to look at the intent behind the video because that's really dangerous So that's why I feel like it's bullshit. I said, even if it was written by him, if y'all are so against that word, I don't think John should like it. Also, the video was a hate video about me. Sonic said the N word in the video as well. You should take a look at it. Winnie said he doesn't like the N word. I said, but still, if he doesn't like the N word, then okay, again, it doesn't make any sense. But anyway, she said he likes the song making fun of the Blackville show trolls. Again, that wasn't the intent behind the video. So that doesn't make any sense. I said the N word was used in the video. John cannot like that song because of that word alone. The hard R, of course. She said, so John can't listen to rap with the N word in it? Because guess what? He loves rap. I said John could get canceled just for liking that song. What I'm mainly talking about is just the whole video as a whole. You know what I mean? When he said, try and cancel him, do it. I said, it's not that, it's not the N word, it's the hard R. Who said I was going to cancel him? She said, if you care so much, cancel him. I said, listen, I need to understand how dangerous this is. He likes the song making fun of Blackfield trolls. I said the N word was used in the video. You get the gist. Oh, that's the same screenshot. I'm so dumb. Yeah. Okay. So honestly, here's what happened, right? And I think all this happened in this group chat. So after those events, let me see if I can find it right quick. Hold on, y'all. Because she actually made a group chat. She made a group chat where she added me and John to a group chat after that conversation. And I'm gonna read all this to you. Not all of it, but I'm gonna like skim through it and tell you like what happened. Nope, wrong group chat. I believe it was actually this one. Yeah, it was this group chat. My bad, y'all. Okay, so she had added John to this group chat, right? She said, come confront John for liking the N word. Y'all problems, not mine. I said, nah, when you got to be involved too. You said you don't like people using the N word. Okay, well, you said John likes rap music that use the word, so where do we draw the line? Because to me, the N word is the N word, regardless. I don't think anyone should be using slurs, but you know the point I'm trying to make. She said, you're right, Cindy. I am so sorry. We are done, John. Cindy says, I'm in denial. So she's pretty much pretending to break up with him, being all dramatic. And I'm like, I'm not telling you to break up with him. She's like, yep, I see everything wrong now. We are done. So she's like, she's acting like she's blocking him, showing me screenshots that she blocked him. I'm not gonna lie, it almost worked on me because I kind of felt bad because she was very nice to me for months. She's like, I'm not fucking trolling. I'm done. I can't do this silence anymore. He is hurting everyone around me. I said, maybe I shouldn't have commented to you because this is just a bit dramatic. I'm sorry for coming to you with all this. Maybe it was best I didn't say anything. Although I feel you are trolling, I just don't want to deal with this anymore. When he left the group chat and John said, look at what you did, and he left too. So I understand how I could have come across like over the top or dramatic, but for months though, she let John just terrorize me. So I'm not understanding why she feels so annoyed by me when she should be annoyed by John. And here's another issue I have. This is where I lost all respect for her. Because a couple of days ago, I was actually me, Toon, and Dominus had made amends, and I was telling Toon how like I felt bad or whatever. But Toon and Dominus unadded me. I didn't know why, but I'm going to explain all that in a minute. But the next day, she invites me to a group chat saying, we hate John group chat. I'm like, what is this? She's like, guys, Major T, the John hate group. She's obviously being funny. I said, are you still in Thwackville? She's like, no. Okay, so I had it all in Thwackville and she was still in there, so she was technically lying. So she's trying to invite everyone into the VCs and they're constantly joining and leaving the VC. And I'm like, okay, she's clearly trolling. Um, I'm like, girl, what is going on? What is this all about? Why did Toon? I said, why did Toon and Dominus unadd me? Just talk here. I don't want to waste my time here all day. Winnie, do you have to pretend you broke up with John? If you have something to say it. I said, all right, Winnie, are you done? She's like, yes. And then she like deleted the group chat. Okay, so here's the issue I have with Winnie, and I'm going to go all the way down here and show you all the stuff that John has done to me. That way you won't think I'm just making shit up. Okay, we're going to start here. I want to talk about Winnie for a minute. So this was like a couple months ago where John is telling me helping a 30-year-old jobless man find entertainment on Discord. I'm like, you do not deserve kids nor a good life. All you know how to do is bring people down because you hate yourself. How are you going to teach your kids how to be good people when you act like this? John's like, sends daily discussion of someone's kids over the internet, pretty much calling me a pedophile. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. I said, John, do you want the best for yourself? He's like, I'm recognizing a pattern. Yeah, Toon pretty much brought up my father's name, and I don't know why, for whatever reason. But here's here's where Winnie's alter ego stems from because she is a complete joke to me. Let's start with Winnie, and I wrote this down because there's a lot I have to say about her. So Winnie is the one pretending to break up with John, created a fake "We Hate John" group chat, pulled me into it like I was part of her content, watched me care watched me care about her genuinely for months while performing the whole time. Then when called out, added Toon and Dominus to the group chat to gang up on me. Actually, she did add Toon and Dominus to this group chat. Um, then used my age against me when she ran out of arguments. And I'm going to show you that group chat as well because she did do that, and I think in this group chat right here, because we did get into it. And then she walked away saying I have to go to work, like she was above it. So I called her out. I think here's where I called her out. I said, Winnie, what you just did was dumb because I believed you. I trusted you and thought you were a real bitch. When you pretended to break up with John and made that group chat, when you brought me into it, I actually respected you enough to listen to whatever nonsense you had to say. I thought it was real. I thought you were hurting for real. I checked on you because I genuinely cared about you because you claimed you did about me. And I knew I fucked up. But now it was all a performance. You are no better than John. You used my hurt for entertainment for your friends. You brought me into a fake chat like I was just another character in your drama. And when it served you, you moved on like none of it mattered. I'm not saying this to make you feel guilty. I'm saying it because I need to finally name what happened. Little girl, you tried me and now the gloves are off. I will not be contacting you or talking to you anymore. I'm just going to let the evidence speak for itself. And yes, your future children will know how horrible of a person you were to me. You hurt me, not because you're evil, because you weren't real. I hope one day you understand what that does to people. I hope you grow. I hope you blah, 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 blah. You get it. I say you are truly dumb, you disgusting piece of low life crap. Goodbye. I'm walking away for good. Take care of yourself. She's like, womp womp. I said, laugh now, you'll be sorry later. When he said, didn't you call me the weirdest girl last night, then backtrack and delete it? If I did call her that, she was being weird. Like, you can't deny it. If you don't think that what she did was weird, then I don't know. Maybe we just don't see eye to eye, but I thought it was pretty weird. I said, because you were being weird. Are you dumb? Don't have to backtrack. She said, I like how I haven't once insulted you or your character, but you were pulling out the insults for me. Girl, bye. All her boyfriend does is pull out insults, so I don't want to hear that. I said, Winnie, you lied straight to my face, pretended to break up with John, and then added me to a group chat acting weird. You are a liar and a deceiver. I actually respected you, but you made yourself look stupid. She's like, and I respected you until you started manipulating people. I'm like, I'm always two steps ahead. Remember that. I never manipulated anyone. I just told the truth. John is evil, whether you like it or not. You didn't have to do what you did, but y'all are some hypocrites. Winnie said, okay, Nivocado, avocado, whatever. I said, Winnie, you always make up excuses for him, especially the N word. She said, why don't you just deal with him instead of letting your anger out at me? I said, how many times have I done that? She said, then that's not my problem, sorry. I said, I'm not angry at you. It's more so you make up excuses. Making a group chat last night was weird. So this is where she wants to act like a bigger person. She said, "Anyways, I'm glad you admitted that it's weird for you to be like this around a 20-year-old girl when you were 31. I didn't even know you were 30. I thought you were in your mid 20s. For me, that's bullshit because everyone knows I'm 31. Um, and if maybe she didn't catch on, I don't know. I thought she knew because everyone knows. I'm like, everyone knows I'm 31. She said, but you are a whole 10 years older than me, so I'm not going to deal with this. Like age has anything to do with disrespect. I said, oh, so now you're calling me a pedo. She said, no, it's just weird for me to be arguing with someone who was 30. What does age have to do with that? She's literally a grown up herself. She's not a teenager anymore. I said, how? She said, because it is. I said, that makes no sense. How, Winnie? You are using age to justify your bad behavior. She said, I mean, I'm freshly 20 and you're in your 30s. Is that not weird? I said, it's not going to work on me. She said, LOL. I said, I know all y'all moves. This could have been avoided if she would have just. Anyway, let me just finish. She said, didn't you call me a little girl? I said, because that's how you were acting, like a little girl. I thought you were better than that. And I actually did thought she was more mature than that. But she said, and that's the only reason why I even spoke to her, because I thought she was like more mature than that, despite her age. She said, makes sense because compared to you, I'm a little girl. I said, so now you're going to completely ignore the situation and make this about me. Nice move. Then this is when she added Dominus and Toon. She said, thoughts? I said, I don't know why you're adding them. They want nothing to do with this. I said, why involve others? Because you know you're wrong. She said, no, because I have to go to work because I'm employed and I know you need someone to argue with because you're bored, so maybe they can do that. I said, LOL, what? She's like, muting this group chat. I have to go to work. Bye. Complete bullshit. But let's scroll back up. Okay, so what I like to call Winnie is the performer. She doesn't troll, she produces. Fake breakups, fake group chats, fake concern. All of it is content to her. And you and me, I'm just a character in her show. So I'm going to take a break right now. We're on the 27 mark. So I either might make a part two or I might just make this an hour long video. However, if you want to stick around, take a breather, pause the video, get some snacks, cause it's gonna be a long video. So I've been called a lot of things by people who thought they could break me, but here's what I've noticed. They're still commenting, still making accounts, still watching, and I'm still here. So let's talk about what a clown actually looks like. I've even given them names. The clown, edgelord, and the keyboard terrorist from earlier. Notice how persistent this clown is, even thinking changing accounts, which he's doing right here. This is Dominus, still trying to add me. Changing accounts will even fool anyone. For instance, he just messaged me. Why? Hello. And now he's sending me more. Friend request. And he claimed he was done. He was done, right? So here's what I'm going to show you. Here's where things get very, very funny. He claimed he was done with Toontown. So the reason why Toon and Dom unadded me was because this is what Dominus told me verbatim. And I'm tired of being played with. So I'm talking to her about the Winnie situation. She's like, yeah, she's just being stupid. I said, Toon added me without warning. Are you going to do it too? Just be honest. He said, we're getting ready to leave the Toontown community, like as a whole, so I'm not sure yet. He said, we aren't going to go to war or anything or attack anyone. We just want to get rid of Toontown because it's toxic. And before y'all get mad and say, why are you showing your DMs? To be clear, Dom does it to me all the time. He sends my screenshots and through after he does it all the time. So I said, so let's get this straight. Me and adding you the first time was honestly the best decision anyway because y'all were going to leave me behind anyway. Like what? And yes, I agree, Toontown is toxic. Now mind you, I hadn't added him because I was trying to make peace with his friend group, and Winnie thought it was drama, and I thought that he was making fun of me, so I added him. He asked me back. 2 days later, now he's talking about wanting to leave and add me, right? It's because we thought about it more and we realized it was great for everyone, especially because the whack is weird. I don't know what to do about them yet. He's thinking about leaving everyone. Um, I said, y'all leaving your friend group too? He's like, well, I mean, most of our friends aren't Toontown related, but we're gonna leave folks and stuff. Yeah. He goes on to say he hates John and uh, where is it at? Oh, he said, fuck John. To be honest, he's evil. It's not a you thing. It's more that we're trying to keep the peace fully, and we know that if we're in the Toontown community in any way, then we're going to stay toxic. Yet they were still in Thwackville, according to someone, still chatting with them. So how can you say you're leaving the Toontown community and you're adding me? I'm not even a part of the community anymore. I don't even have friends in the community anymore. But you're adding me, but sticking around Thwackville. That makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. He claimed he was going to stick around because he wants to see what people are saying about him, which I think is BS. And let me show you something else. I know somebody sent this account to me. Sent this. Someone added me saying faggot. I'm like, what? What is that all about? I know it was Dom because Toon recently had switched his server name to my last name, and I'm not going to show y'all that because I don't want my name on here. But I'm going to show you something. If he was done with me, why would he do this? So on my Ego account, I forget that Dominus sent me a friend request on there. So I had, accepted, and then a couple minutes later, he unadds me for no reason, right? So I'm like, okay, now you're just playing games with me. I'm not a stranger. So and then I forgot that I went on my Smalls account because he has sent me a friend. I remember he has sent me a friend request on this account, and I'm like, okay, Edge Lord. I call him the Edge Lord because that's the persona I gave him, right? So tell me why he has the audacity now to try to add me back to get the last word. Here we are, and here we are. This is his account. He's like, why? Hello. I don't understand. Here's what I don't understand. You got people attacking me, right? You claim you're over Toontown. Um, 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 Toon is now changing his server name to my last name, so I'm thinking, okay, they're trolling me at this point. So now he's acting like he doesn't know what's going on when you know exactly what's going on. And Toon has a long history of trolling, doxing, and obsessively stalking me or targeting me, and I'm going to show you everything right now. All the horrific shit Toon and Dom has done. I guess I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start with right here. I'm gonna just go here. So this was a couple months ago when I was still beefing with them. Mind you, this has been going on for a year. I'm gonna tell you the background of how everything started. So um, when I had one of their friends, Dylan, had introduced me to Toon's server, right? Piet was King Roscoe's ex ex girlfriend. She was the girlfriend of Brent, who abused her. Um, and she recorded the abuse too, but she never. I don't think she ever went to the police. Uh, but anyway, I remember that I got invited to their server, and Piet was pretty much being a bitch to me and making indirect comments trying to piss me off. So I got mad because Toon and everyone they were acting like so oblivious, like they didn't know what was going on. So I had left the server and I made a really, and I cussed her out, saying you deserve to get beat up by Brent if that's the way you act or whatever, right? So things were iffy ever since, right? But here's another thing. I think Dylan added me again, like a year later, invited me to their server, right? Clearly they were talking shit because I was in their like waiting room or whatever, but They try to make it seem like, oh no, we're just trolling. So I was in there for a couple months until I left because the vibes were weird and Dominus was acting, his edgelord persona as usual, just acting really stupid. So again, a year later, one of their friends, Matt, messaged me saying, "Hey, we should be friends. We should get, be in a server and all that." I'm like, "Okay, cool, whatever." I'm like, let's bury the hatchet. So I make a server named Cool and the Fool, and I invite all my friends, even Matt and Toon. And I eventually make amends with Piet, and she claims she doesn't even remember the drama that happened. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. We can just move on, whatever. During this time, I was very depressed, and I went to the hospital for suicidal thoughts. I was in the hospital for 7 days while they were in my server. And when I came back, a couple months later, I realized someone that eventually told me that Toon and Matt didn't even like me, and that they were. I don't know why they were in my server for so long, but they didn't like me. That's pretty much all I can say. So, and then Piek was being a bitch as usual to one of my friends named Donut, just being indirect, making slick comments, and so eventually we fell out. But I guess the whole thing was like we fell out, became friends again, fell out, became friends again. But the whole time, Toon and Dom were using me or using my um, good nature for their entertainment, which is pretty evil, right? But here's a screenshot of Don saying, "Your sister has a decent ass. Give it a 6 out of 10." Like fucking weird, right? So Toon is posting a picture of my father's Facebook, and they're saying, "Sin, I know what you did." This giving I know what you did last summer. It was so stupid. I said, "Show the proof." She said, "We're fucked." Every time I tell them to show the proof, they never show the proof. I said, "Show the proof. We need details of what I did." Because back in 2021, I had a crush on an 18-year-old and I was 26, and Brent King Roscoe pretty much made up rumors saying that I was sexting minors, and people were saying that the dude that I had a crush on was 17 at the time, which was untrue. And I can prove that because I have screenshots to prove it. Actually, no, I'm going to go to the screenshots right now. So, where are they? Um, this is one of them. He said, "Make all the statements you want, but don't make false ones concerning me." This name is Morgan's. Let me see. That's the dude I had a crush on back in 2021. So Dom said, "Legit groomed Morgan's." Morgan said, "Untrue." See how stupid you look now? For the longest time, they thought I was grooming him. Nope, I was not grooming anybody. And I have another screenshot of Morgan's confronting them that I did nothing to him. Where's that screenshot at? I know I have it here somewhere. Okay, I can't find it right now, but we're just gonna go back to the screenshots. Okay, we have one right here of Dominus saying Cinny after I come in his eyes. I'm like, that's a nice pick me, by the way. Uh, right here. Dominus Lucifer changes his name to Avenue Lucifer. He says, Satan told me to quit whining. Are you whining? And then a person that impersonates as me used my real name saying, Stop, I'm not whining. Jesus told me not to believe you. They're making fun of the fact that I have a spiritual gift of seeing the spirit and that I talk to Jesus, pretty much. He's Potato says peas. The impersonator says in my mouth. Dominus Lucifer says start shitting angrily at the sight of Jesus. Dominus Lucifer says Jesus is a gay lord. Here's my thing. I can't take someone serious sending me messages like, why? Hello, when you're literally like saying shit like this. When you're literally saying shit like this. And what's funny is the fact that um he has the nerve to say stuff like, Let me find it. Saying that we should get over and that we can't handle it. He's saying like, well, I'm sorry, Cinny, but he shouldn't be trolling if he can't take it. But this isn't an issue anymore because I'm not going on the offensive. I'm not going to troll or do anything unless I'm trolled first. I legit want nothing to do with Donut or Jackie. He says other stuff like, he said, I want to make amends, Cinny. I just want to make you realize why you're having friends join and harass me. They harassed him because he harassed me. I'm going to get into that in a little bit. Because I banned someone is not okay. So I'm going to get into that a little bit because there's a story behind that. Matt is using my real name. Dominus is saying we are professional retards, but we haven't been for real this entire time. We've done nothing. And Cindy told his mom about Blackfield for no reason, which is not true either. You might be going back to psych because, by the way, because I messaged your sister what you were saying about rape victims. I said, I don't care, Dom. Are you happy now? Fuck off. That shit is weird. Like, why are you bringing family into the mix? The impersonator's like, hey. John's like, hey, he's back. I thought you said no doxing in the server. You know, John has this rule where there's no doxing, but when it comes to Dominus, he'll let Dominus do whatever he wants. Here's some other cryptic screenshots. Oop. Uh, why don't you feel it? You can't ignore me forever. Starts effing cinnamon satanic style. He needs to go back to psych. Dickhead ass motherfucker. Pieck is saying my mom's name, which I don't even know how she even knew who my mom was, but they're pretty much doxing me. I said, bitch, you're fat with a small ass dick you can't see because your belly overlap it. Shut up. Toon brings up me and my sister's name. Um, Together they are. I don't know what he's talking about. Cindy is a true. So he brings up my sister. Says my sister has a dirty pussy because she caught herpes from fucking a tramp. Damn. One of his friends even threatened me on an alt saying, hey yo, fuck you, Cinny. I'm gonna fucking kill you, Cinny. Fuck you. You betrayed me. And then goes on to say, wait, no, here we are. Then goes on to say, I got Brent on my side, motherfucker. You ain't doing shit. Hell Brent, Hell Team Trap, Hell Tech Gangster. Now him and our gang are gonna kill you. He knows you are my full name, he said. Then Toon is bringing up my father's name. Um, Let me see if I can find some more before I get into the other screenshots. Oh, here's one. Who is this he brought up? Oh, my last name. And then that's a picture of me. They're posting pictures of my cat, which I don't even know where they got this from. Then they're posting pictures of my sister. Um, Sunny, I hope you know if you go to the police, the only person getting screwed over is you. You legit posted revenge porn. They'll pull those logs. So let me talk about the revenge porn for a minute. So back in 2021, when King Roscoe was lying on me, one of his team members, Chris, has sent me and a couple other people some nudes, and I used that to get back at him. That's what happened. Did I? Dominus said I came in your sister's pussy, and now I have purified my last name bloodline by introducing alpha genes into it. Then they're calling me a pedo and whatever. Um, Let me see what else this is. I think I showed this already. Satan spoke to me and told me to annihilate you, so I did. My name is Dominus Lucian. What did you fucking expect? Lucian, Lucifer. Ugh. So is this really a persona, or is that really who he is? You want to know something, Cinny? You want to know why I did what I did? God didn't tell me to do it, but Satan himself. Like, weirdo. Weirdo behavior. I'm not gonna finish the rest, but I'm gonna get into. Then this person's calling me the N word, the hard R. Actually, let me show you. Let me show you else what folks said. So folks is a Team Trap member too. The guy that said he was gonna kill me. This is what he said to me. I don't know anymore. I just have a feeling I won. But dead ass Cindy, recap our history in 2025. What has happened between us? What happened when we were chill? What happened to when we were dapping each other up? What fucking happened, Cindy? And then he said, "Where's this? Oh, I am God. I have transcended. You are a mere mortal who will end up as irrelevant as a singular leap. Go fuck yourself. You are nothing to me, and you will never get a chance to rebuttal. I am better than you, and you will never be able to say your piece, as it means absolutely nothing. I have won. You have lost. Accept it." Blah blah blah. So let's get into the part where I crashed out and had a mental breakdown in Blackfield. So this is what happened. When me and Toon and Dominus made up for the 1000th time, we made a server together. There was this girl named Wednesday who was friends with Sonic and friends with a guy named Freckle Flam. Dominus had he didn't really know. Well, he had a feeling that she was a catfish, but he didn't have the proof. But he didn't have any proof to like really like he didn't have any proof. Um, so his argument was kind of weak to me. And what happened was I had defended Wednesday because of it. So when he kicked me, there was drama once again. And so he's like, so oh, I had ended up finding out that she was a catfish because I had found who this person really was on LinkedIn, and it was a guy. So when I found out, I told Dominus, and he's like, Cinny, I know what you're saying. Add me back into the group chat, pretty much with Freckle Slam and Wednesday, and give me a kiss. He also said, by the way, because Dominus seemed fine with it when he joined the group chat. He was like, okay, everything's cool. And then all of a sudden he says, by the way, I'm thinking it's disgusting that you still associate with a catfish and a potential assaulter. So I think I'm going to have to put you in timeout. Be careful going forward, Cindy, because you surround yourself with peons. Are you going to stop spreading lies yet? I said I told you not to bring me up in Thwackville anymore, yet you exposed my DMs, my unlisted vid, and my script for the doxing video I was going to make. Don't ever message me again. So when I crashed out and had a mental breakdown in Thwackville, I really almost like wanted to, you know, off myself, die. And Toon had, you know, calmed me down in a VC. Uh, Let me find. But this is what happened afterwards. Here's what happened afterwards. Toon, I think we felt there was this. I think this happened after I found. I don't know. I don't remember this after Dominus sent that message to me. But this is what Toon said. Nah, dude. After everything we've said and done to the shitter, he still thinks we care for him. Someone will probably screenshot all of this and send it to him. He just pisses me off. He's so fucking stupid and all his friends shit talking behind his back that he refuses to believe that. Dude, this retard believes anything. Yeah, that's what he's doing right now. Shit talking behind my back. Legit, Jackie Donut Wednesday and all of those fucks shit talk him. And he's too stupid. I legit tried to help at one point because I felt bad. Okay, that makes sense, but here's where things get stupid. He said, they arrested him for being a. Wait, what? This retard said, don't delete, I need screenshots. Like, what a fucking retard. Like, I give a fuck about that. I bet you I could apologize again and he'll fucking believe it. Legit. We lied about being his friend straight to his face and this fucker believed it. After everything, he legitimately thought we cared. Bro, that fucking mental breakdown little retard had was the only time I slightly gave a fuck about him. I know, fucking retard. Oop! Oop! That's all you need to know, people. And I don't want to make this video too long, but and here are they trying to act like they are the bigger people. I'm so glad we're free from his grasp. Agreed. It wasn't rewarding. He's just a fucking loser. They just accept defeat and leave us alone. Nothing else will happen. Blah blah blah. So here are the reasons. So I made it with him for 1,000 times, and this is just one of those moments where he'll act like he's concerned. This was this year. He said your bio is concerning. I would have kicked him if I didn't kick them. Blah blah blah. I said you want admin. I don't know why Danny is back. He said sure. I'll do my best to moderate things. So he'll message me from time to time and ask me like if I was good or whatever. He said whatever, you know. But then he unadds me, and here we are today. I guess it's another screenshot I want to show you. Ruff is saying sniff sniff, cinnamon smells kids. Just the whole pedal shit. I think I've showed you enough for now, but I think I want to show you a couple more screenshots. This is one of those moments where, and I'm sorry, Cindy, but he shouldn't be trolling if he can't take it. Honestly, the dude was defending for him because Dominus was instigating drama all the time, but Dominus can't seem. And look what he said. Sorry for yelling at you, Cindy. I you know I love you. I said I love you too. Sorry as well. Then after the Wednesday beef, he said, "How does it feel, Cindy? I was behind it all, everything. You will eventually come to learn what that means. Now back into your hole, bird brain." Do you see the inconsistencies here and how you shouldn't trust them? And this is how I know. This is how you know you can't trust them. If you think I'm crazy, I'm going to show you a conversation that I had with someone who I think is very beloved in the community and why they didn't want to join my server. I said, damn, you be ignoring the shit out of me. Anthem's like, sorry, I've just had a lot going on. I said, I mean, if you don't want to be Discord friends, just tell me. I don't want to bother anybody. Anthem's like, nah, it's not that at all. I've just been super busy. Also, kind of got tired of constantly being thrown into group chats because Dom would just keep throwing him into group chats with drama. I said, oh, you talking about Dominus? He's like, yeah. I said, oh, okay. I'm sorry that happened to you. Hold on a second. Okay, sorry about that, y'all. But anyway, I said, I don't want what he did to affect you, not wanting to join servers, and I completely understand why you wouldn't want to. He's like, yeah, I just want that shit to end. It's been in the past for like 8 or 9 years, and I don't know if I can trust being around other random people I don't know. I said, so he's done this for years? Anthony's like, not for years straight, but yes. I said, try unadding him or setting a boundary. Don't give him access to you or for him to do that. He said, I've been thought about removing him, but I'm scared of doing that to be honest. I said, I understand. Why are you scared? Ant said, they know how to find people and do attacks and shit. See, I'm not crazy. This is proof right here. I said, yeah, I know. Trust me. I'm sure you've seen I've had plenty of attacks by him. Ant's like, yeah. I said, I'm glad you told me because he was in the server and I would hate to have invited you and not know that you had an issue with him. So I showed him the screenshots of me having a conversation with Dominus about. I said I wanted to invite Ant to the server, but she is tired of you inviting her into group chats. It's rude. He said who? I said Ant. He's like, oh, lol. I've known Ant for like 10 years. He never replies. We just want to talk to him. I say, yeah, but they are tired of you throwing him into group chats. He's like, that's so mean. Tell him I pinky promise I won't do it again. Dominus is just he's either an airhead or he's just a child. I said, I know, but like maybe you come off too aggressive. Maybe you should just apologize to her yourself. He said, her? Anthony's a boy. I said, okay. He said, Anthony's short for Anthony. I said, yeah, you overstepped his boundaries. He said, he never set any boundaries, Cinny. That's not even the problem. You shouldn't, you don't stop being so like manipulating and crazy. It's like he doesn't even realize he's like weird and crazy. I think he really thinks he's normal, and he's not. He said he never even told me not to do it. I said, yeah, I understand. Even if someone tells you not to do it, you just don't invite people to random group chats where there's drama. He said, so that's pretty partly his fault for not communicating properly. I said, yeah, I told him he could just unadd you, just tell you. He is scared of removing you, and I can understand why. You have a tendency to cross boundaries. When I used to unadd you, you used to keep adding me back. He's scared you're going to attack him and that you know how to find people. He said, why would I do that? I said, Dom, come on. He said, bro. I said, because that's what you're known for. And he's done it to me. You've seen all the screenshots of him doxing my family. I said, because that's what you're known for. Dom said, I've known this guy's name for 10 years and we have done nothing. You have may not have done nothing to him because he's, he's not on your radar, but but you've definitely done things to people, Dom. I said, I know, but that's how he feels. It's the truth, though. Dom said, "Oh, it's the truth because like Dom does have a tendency to dox people." Dom said, "No matter what, then he should have talked. Not my fault. He has no communication skills. But you're not someone that people can reason with anyway. So why would he want to even talk to you? You see how I'm trying to reason with him, and Dom does not see that he's the bad guy." I said, "He is scared of you." He said he didn't say any of this once. I said, because you dox people. Dominus said once. So does everyone. This is the community we have, Cinny. I said, he's seen what you're capable of. This is just an excuse. I said, you're not getting it. He is scared of you because you dox people. He said, everyone doxes people. He used to talk to Brent. I said, are you serious right now, Dominus? Everyone doesn't dox people. It's only the people you associate with who do that. I'm scared of you. Others are. And you just proved why by showing that you will never take responsibility, never change, and never stop until someone stops you. This is dangerous. So pretty much, I invited him to a group chat with Toon and Dom, and they apologized. Blah blah blah. Do I think the apology was sincere? No, I don't, because right now to this day, Toon and Dom are acting really weird. Um, Let me see if there's anything else I want to show you guys. He said, "Cinny, I am growing. My growth is just not going ape on you. But don't forget, Cinny, you guys initially joined to troll me. Yeah, because you are the initiator. And I would just rather not deal with drama. Yeah, but you love drama. You're always in drama. That's why you're still in Blackville. So I'm disengaging. Yeah, but he always adds me back. I said, you aren't the victim. You kicked Potato unfairly, kicked me too for defending for the unfair kick. Accused Wednesday for being a man. But you do you. Um Let me see. Maybe you wouldn't get people trying to troll you every 4 seconds. Excuses, excuses. I said, you are mad. Are you mad because you tried to convince a bunch of idiots, who of which probably didn't take you serious, by the way, that she was a man without proof? Yet I literally convinced everyone that she was a man with proof. You aren't making sense, Dom, and I'm not offended by that comment. I think you are just mad I got them to believe me over you. While you did have a feeling she was a man, as most of us were anyway, you just couldn't convince us without proof. That's all. Just take the L, my man. It's okay. You should listen to me more often. You may make good points, but you know what they say: right message, wrong messenger. Okay, so I think that's all. Oh, he sent another message. Let me see this. Let me see what this says. Oh, it's a call. Anyway, now I'm not here to expose people's DMs. Like oh, look what I'm only doing this to spread a message, and the only DMs I've showed were conversations that connect to the clowns of Toontown. So here's what I want to say. You think someone with this much free time actually, because these people actually act like they have jobs or they have lives, but then when it comes to drama, they're on here 24/7. I don't know. Maybe get a hobby and not Discord, because he keeps trying to prove or provoke, but it never works for me on me, and that's why I think he keeps coming back. So let me tell you the alter egos of Toon, Dom, and John. Toon is the clown, trolling, doxing, secret chats, reposting, all of it. Classic circus behavior. You'll think after years of this, he'll realize no one's laughing with him. Then we have Dominus, the edgelord. Reposts lies, sends friend requests, pretends to be above it, while diving headfirst into every bit of drama. Thinks he's mysterious, he's just predictable. And then we have John. John is the keyboard terrorist, never the loudest in the room. He's never the loudest in the room, I'm talking too fast, but always there, in the chats, in the silence, letting everyone else do the work while he watches. The kind of person who never gets his hands dirty, but always has blood on them. Remember, never the loudest in the room. So here's where we are. They spent years making secret chats, reposting lies, pretending to care, performing breakups, watching my every move while telling themselves I'm the obsessed one. And after all of it, I'm still here. Not because I fought harder, because I stopped fighting. I like to call these three the Trinity of Toontown. Because without, they're a Trinity because they're trolls. They're a Trinity because they need a victim to to feel like the main characters. But they aren't really the main characters. The main characters are people like me. People who give them that entertainment. They may be the Trinity, but I'm the infinity. I last forever. This little Trinity, they wouldn't exist without me. I am the infinite. Okay? That's what I call myself. And they're just the Trinity. So indeed. Or you can call me like the Illuminator. Yeah, sure, I'm in the circus, but I'm illuminating the circus. And like, so instead, I held up a flashlight to the drama. I feel like no one ever really like has shown like what goes on behind the scenes in the community. Everyone's afraid to like call these guys out, but I'm not. I don't really give a damn because these guys are a joke to me. I don't hate them. I just feel like these personas are hilarious because they spent years just trolling me. And now everyone sees what was always there. A handful of people with too much time on their hands, too little self-awareness, and a desperate need to feel like they matter. They only matter because I'm here. They don't. They don't matter. Not to me. Not anymore. To anyone watching who's been caught in a cycle like this, who's been made to feel crazy, small, or alone, you're not the punchline. You're the one telling the joke now. And the best part, they'll keep circling, keep posting, keep performing, because that's all they know how to do. But me, I'm walking away. Not because I lost, because I finally understand. You don't have to defend the circus. You just have to stop showing up. My name is Cinnamon, and this is me leaving the tent. For now, that is. Have a nice day.